Welcome to the review. Yep, sorry, I'm never saying the title again. It sucks. Yeah, the only time I'm ever going to be saying this title is the title of this video, because if I just say the episode with the title I can't pronounce, no one's gonna click on the video. So, this is the review for the last 3 episodes. I know it's been delayed, mainly because due to my marble race, but because I didn't know it would come out on the same day that part 3 released, so sorry about that. Just so you know, I recorded this before I watched Rogue Planet Army Part 2, so don't worry, I do not know what's going on there. And since I'm releasing this on Saturday, I don't have to be super discreet on what goes down on Rogue Planet Army Part 1. Yay! Anyways, let's just get into the review, because yeah, this arc was, I have a lot to talk about. Let's get into part 1, bitch. Alright, part 1. Alright, how do I say this? Alright, so part 1 was 7 minutes. You can see it was split into 2 halves. The first half was with all the planets, and the second half was with the Moon Club. Alright, let me say this lightly. The first 4 minutes were complete and utter dog shit. They were trash. This was like Solar Balls at its lowest. There was a brief scene. There was a brief good scene in these first 4 minutes where Jupiter almost had a brief crash out at the sun, at which justified 1000%. But it didn't go anywhere, did it? Because he backs off. He doesn't let the sun respond. So I'm gonna go explain in great detail why these first 4 minutes were complete ass. So we start off with, first of all, after the solar system's true scale part 3, it was very clear that the sun was like mad, like my mother type of, after I didn't clean the basement type of mad. It's just like the sun had red eyes, making Numberlock 33 have 10 videos in the span of 1 day. But, yeah. And everyone talks about the sun having red eyes, you know. Anyways, the first part that made this episode bad was, the dialogue. My God, was it not good. It was just not good. Like, the sun is, like, mad, but in this, it seems like he's sarcastic mad. He's sarcastic mad. Like my mother when I say a smart-ass comment, which I do a lot. He's being sarcastic with the planets. This is just why Solar Balls has ruined the sun's character, but all over again. He's not being serious. He's being not silly. I mean, I don't really think any of this was funny, but he's not being like, I hate all of you. And the moment I saw the fact that the title said that all the planets were gonna share an orbit, I groaned. The reason being is that we've already had the moons taking over the inner region and the planets being all living in the outer region. We've already had a realistic solar system. What more could you want? However, I had not seen any of these 3 parts. In reality, this is actually a little bit better than banishing them. I like it. They're stuck here. I would rather be banished than this. Ganymede and Europa, Jupiter got it easy. Like, damn. Another thing I don't like, you want to know another thing that's bad about this? But that's not a positive. The sun is all like, what to do? Like his normal silly self. And I've already explained how, like, sometimes he needs to be serious in my son's character video. Let me just, alright. Venus talks to Mercury, who, oh boy, you know how I made his son's ruined character video? Mercury's getting the same treatment soon. Oh boy, that's coming probably after I get back from Florida. So yeah, Then we have the Jupiter crash out. This was the only mildly good scene in these first 4 minutes. This is everything what I have wrong with solar balls in a nutshell. Jupiter, of course, backs off. This was good because Jupiter, if you remember, in the solar system, but it's only moons, part 2. Jupiter said that he wanted to be happy, kumbaya, and everything like that with the planets and stuff. No more bullying and that type of crap. Like everyone would be good and stuff. And they are and he's mad that the sun is having is harping on the fact that the sun harping a lot, like giving 3 different punishments every single time about the whole. Okay, I can somewhat side with the sun. Hold on. In the solar system's true scale, the punishment was good. He gave them what they wanted, and it wasn't hurting anybody. They just couldn't talk to anyone. And I also understand the planets. They couldn't talk to anyone. This is still a punishment. However, I will admit, I didn't actually say this in my solar system's true scale review. The plan that the planets think of to try and get out of said solar system's true scale was the worst plan I've ever seen in my life. What was this? This plan sucked. Why do I keep saying punishment? This is weird. This plan sucks. Oh, we have to get out of our orbit. The sun can't control all of it. What do you think he does? The sun controls all of them. Yeah, so that plan didn't really work. And the last bit, Neptune asks, so Sun says the Goldilocks zone, which I don't even have to explain to you what it means. If you don't know what the Goldilocks zone is, I'm going to bully you in the comments. Do not comment saying I don't know what the Goldilocks zone is. I will bully you. Basically, if you watch Solar Balls, you know what the Goldilocks zone is. They've explained it numerous times. But for some reason, they have to explain it again. Because, we need an educational scene. Bro, it's just filler. One thing that Neptune says that isn't filler, though, although it seems like filler at first, but actually isn't, is what about the dwarf planets? I like this. This is another mildly good thing. You forget about this because it doesn't seem like, a question. Now that that's over, now that these first terrible 4 minutes are over, if this was the episode, this would have been in my top 10 least favorite episodes. This was the Halloween specials level type of bad. But the Moon Club saved it. In my solar system's true scale review, I said this. Where are the moons, man? I thought we were promised, because whenever, I was fine with the moons not really appearing in the Theia arc. So, are we just going with them? But I feel like the Theia arc is just kind of... I feel like Solar Balls just does not know what to do with the moon. So yeah, I was wrong. They do know what to do with the moons. As the Moon Club session is... Now, I do still have issues with this Moon Club session. It saves the episode from being terrible. It is now just kind of mid. It saves it. We actually have some new moon assets. I actually kind of like Dione's look. The Uranian moons, except Titania, don't get new designs, and that pisses me off. Triton appears, and oh boy, we have a sponsor segment. This video was the nail in the coffin for me, and that's when I decided to release. This my 5-minute video that didn't about the Solar Balls, but it's just the sponsor segments being put mid conversation because I already talked about this in my What Are Rogue Planets review. This wow. And Solar Balls kind of stopped this in part 3, which was when I posted it. They actually put it not mid-conversation. Good, Solar Balls is learning. Let's go. But anyways, on to the Moon Club. One thing that bugs me is that Ganymede is kind of stupid. Hey, Ganymede, after the Battle of Planet X, did Planet X hit you on the head hard with an asteroid? I guess we're seeing the side effects. Takes a while, but I guess we're seeing the side effects. Ganymede, How could you forget what you said in the solar system trials? That was like the Declaration of Independence for the moons. Like, how could you forget? Ganymede just says, "What did I say again?" Like, bruh. Also, this was the part where the captions, the subtitles on Patreon thought it said "fucked." So yeah, we just want to put that out there. This is where this. Oh, by the way, they did it again. The Patreon subtitles did it again. While not as egregious in the Rogue Planet Army Part 1, they say "what the hell," which I know they've said hell at some points. It's still risky for solar balls. Just they did it again. Ugh. Anyways, Moon Clubs. I do like this Moon Club scene. We got Titania only had one line. Yay. The best part about this, though, was the fact that the sun actually was spying on them the whole time. That, like, I like that the sun has a little, like, grievance with the moons. I felt they kind of forgot about that in the solar system, but it's only moons. They didn't. The sun still has his grievance. Balance? I don't need balance, you silly moon. He sends the moons, chucking them into the other planets, casual. Oh, by the way, I actually think the Planet Revolution soundtrack is pretty good. Hold up. Listen, this is by far the biggest error, not error, but biggest bother, is that Proteus is literally supposed to be bigger than Mimas. Even the solar card says it's bigger than Mimas. Like, bro, this is literally a side-by-side comparison. And, like, bro, they'll just never understand. They'll never understand that Proteus is actually the biggest non-spherical moon and not Hyperion. Speaking of Hyperion, he gets his first line in over a year. Want to know what it is? What is saying? I am truly touched by that line. Anyways, the sun goes on intimidating mode, and this is actually when the episode starts to get good. That cliffhanger. This is like peak sun. The sun recovered from his issues in the beginning of this episode in just one episode. What a recovery. So yeah, this episode wasn't terrible because it actually managed to find its footing, and in the last couple of minutes. Yay. Hold up. If I have to be the bad guy to ensure everyone's safety, then believe me, I'll be the bad guy. Part 2 time. Alright, so you know how in my solar system's true scale, and just all the reviews past that, all the newer reviews, not counting the first 4 that I did, but the 3 newer ones, I mentioned that part 2, the second part, is usually terrible because you expect it to, because part 1 starts off the 3-parter. That's good. You know it's gonna leave off on a cliffhanger. Part 2, but you have to wait another week. And part 2, you think it's gonna contain all the answers, and then it doesn't. It leaves off on another cliffhanger, and part 3 is the one that contains all the answers. But as of recently, the part 2s have actually been good. The solar system, but it's only moons part 2 was paced beautifully for solar balls, and that's something I don't really say often. The Planet Awakens part 2. The Planet Awakens. While not being a good episode, it was still the best out of the Halloween special. Solar System's True Scale part 2. That's the exception. Part 1 was better, but it's still not terrible. It was kind of funny. And then lastly, What Are Rogue Planets Part 2. I like Part 3 more, but still, it was a really good 6-minute episode. And that's another thing. If you know me, I hate 6-minute episodes. But as of recently, the 6-minute episodes have been really good, except for the Solar System, but it's only moons Part 1. That doesn't count. But, like, as of recently, like, the solar system's true scale and beyond, the 6-minute episodes have been cooking. So, you think that since this is a part 2 and a 6-minute episode and how the track record is, you'd think that's actually turned the tables and it's going to be a good episode. No. 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 It decided to go back to the old ways and be a bad second part 6-minute episode. Where to begin? So this is exactly like part 1, except the beginning of the episode was good, and the last couple of minutes were utter trash, worse than the first 4 minutes of part 1. Like, we'll get to that. But anyways, let's start off with the episode. One thing I do like is they brought back Uranus's diary. It does now just a blue book and doesn't say Uranus's diary, which bugs me. We haven't seen Uranus's diary since the moons of Uranus were introduced. Yay! Ultimately, this is actually... We see... Oh my god, Neptune! Ugh, he's realistic. He's now sick. I am not a fan of Neptune's sick design. Not a fan. One thing I am a fan of, though, is, I do like how Jack Stansbury, the voice actor of all the planets, actually makes Neptune's voice sound a little bit different when he's sick. But not too different. Hopefully they keep this. They don't. They only keep it for part 2 and then immediately goes back to his normal voice in part 3. Well, it was fun while it lasted. Alright, well, he's realistic Neptune now. I don't like it. I don't like the fact that now he's actually the same color as Uranus. Ugh. The moment I get my Neptune plushie, he now looks like this. And he's probably going to look like this for the rest of the arc. Because until the sun doesn't make them share an orbit, he's probably going to stay like this, damn it. Anyways, I was originally, like, in part 2, I was going to make a segment where, like, okay, first of all, I'm really pissed at Solar Balls. This was actually, like, this pissed me off that we didn't get a break. They didn't get a break this Christmas week. Where they still released this like, that bugged me. Like, last year they did, and I felt earned. Felt like we were entering a new era. Here it just feels like another everyday week. I mean, mainly, like, that bugged me. Like, yeah. It also killed the trend of, they take breaks after every part 4. Like, this was the first four-parter, with that being What Are Rogue Planets, where they didn't take a break the next episode afterwards. That also is something that grinds my gears. Anyways, I've been yapping. I'm gonna yap some more. Oh, wait. So, one thing, Solar Ball is on the Discord server, at least Triton saying, I thought we promised never to lie to each other, Neptune. Which I was intrigued, because I thought we were finally gonna get the answer to what happened after the disturbance of the Kuiper Belt. And when I figured out that it was in this episode, and it was about being sick, I kind of, I was like, I got pissed, because I originally thought I thought Solar Balls purposefully knew it, knowing damn well that we think they'll be continuing the Triton arc, and I would get mad. However, you know what happened in part 3, they actually did continue the Triton arc. So, I can't really say that. Sorry, Solar Balls, you're actually doing good. No, don't worry. We move on to Uranus and his moons, who I only like Umbriel and Ariel. And Miranda's just okay. She's okay, man. One thing I don't like is the picture of Neptune that Oberon pulls out is actually a realistic picture and not animated. That also, don't like it. It doesn't mix with, like, the animation. We made Jupiter and Saturn, who, talk about their rings, and Saturn's rings are melting. Okay, hold on. Let me explain something real quick. This is going to take, a couple minutes to explain, because I've already mentioned. So, Patreon is different from the YouTube version, and, there's been several times where, dialogue has been changed to, be different from the Patreon version to the YouTube version. I'll give, 2 examples. So, in Saturn Gets His Moons Back, which was a while ago, I know, but Titan said that he was bigger than Mercury and Mars, and that's why it shows Mercury and Mars. Like, I bet people were wondering, like, why is there three bodies? You know, but Titan is in fact not bigger than Mars. So they actually managed to erase him saying Titan is bigger than Mars. They still added the fact that there's two planets, but whatever. I guess you can't do everything. If you want a more recent example in what lies beyond the solar system, Wise originally said, "We've been keeping an eye on most solar systems in our vicinity." But now in the YouTube version, he says, "We've been keeping an eye on most star systems in our vicinity." So typically, I actually really like when Solar Balls does this. This is the first case where I feel like the original Patreon version, was better than what we got. Let me explain. So, Saturn, so they talk about, Saturn has a chat with his moons about why his rings are melting. And originally, Saturn puts up a good point, saying that he has like a hexagonal storm or something that inside his core that makes him like warmer, but not warmer, colder, like preventing things from melting and stuff. But, and like, and then Enceladus says, "Saturn, your rings are not inside your core." And it sounds like, oh, good point. That was actually funny. And they got rid of it. And then that's when Titan starts talking about how the ice particles can trap heat. And then Titan gives the explanation about, and not Enceladus, but Enceladus still has a line. They erased a pretty funny joke. You want to know what they put instead?
Losing your rings? Yep. Sorry, Saturn.
This officially bugs me. That was actually a joke that could actually work while also being educational, and they got rid of it. Ugh. Meanwhile, we cut back to Uranus, who, I don't know what he's doing. Titania bugs me once again, even though she's on the good side now. Uranus says, "Come on, man, how long do I have left with my rings?" And when I ask someone how long do I have, I need a specific time, not just say soon or something. That annoys the fuck out of me. Titania just says, "Not long enough." Ugh. Ooh. Titania, you're getting on my bad side. And now we reach the part where the episode begins to get trash-tastic like the Minty Maniacs in the 2025 qualifiers. The episode, Jupiter rages. The rocky planets are getting too close. He is going to tear into the sun. But then Mercury steps in. "Get out of the way, Mercury. Jupiter needs to have a talk to. Mercury is biased with the sun." I am not going to talk about this scene. It bugs me so much that I'm going to talk all about it in my Why is Solar Balls Ruin Mercury's character, probably coming after I come back from Florida. So stay tuned for that. We're going to talk about what else makes these last couple of minutes ass-tastic. So Mercury goes back to his orbit and he gets jump scared by Triton of all people. Excuse me? Mercury interacting with Triton? This is like if Mars interacted with Sharon. This is like if Pluto interacted with Cosmo. This is like if Houston had a full-blown conversation with Thalassa, one of Neptune's moons. What universe am I living in where Mercury and Triton are having a 1-minute conversation? But beside that, though, this scene's still not good. It's actually pretty boring. Like, Triton, Mercury's giving the most bare bones explanations to Triton, and it's actually making me pissed. I'll talk more about that. I mean, not as I was already pissed exiting that Jupiter and Mercury scene, but god damn it. Triton ends up the episode by saying, I'm gonna earn my freedom with the truth. And the episode ends. That episode is pretty bad. Moving on to part 3. So, a missed opportunity for a joke starting down. I will say part 3 was better than all of them because the whole episode was good. Not just one part, not just half and half. The whole episode was good. So, one issue that missed opportunity for a joke, and I know the thing is that Neptune knows all the name of his moons, but since he's sick, it would be understandable if he forgot one or named one incorrectly. So, here's the joke. Or, like, not the joke, but the missed opportunity.
Ah! Good one, Galatea.
So, Galatea acted like Neptune, like, got her name wrong. But the thing is, he got it correct. That's Galatea. So why is Galatea going like, huh? If Neptune said, oh, good one, Liomedia, or S/2004N1. But Triton comes back from Mercury, which... Alright, now Triton says, it's time, Neptune. Proteus is like, I'm a moon. You're a moon. You're a moon. Triton approaches the sun. And, oh boy, things are getting intense here. Let's see what the sun's gonna do. The fireball deserves pretty much every single punishment coming towards his way. So, Triton releases the bombshell that he is a dwarf planet who got sucked by Neptune's gravity. Good. I knew that was going somewhere. We actually get a continuation of the Triton arc. One thing that bugs me is that the sun doesn't really do anything to Neptune. Like, this is basically the same thing as the Grand Tack. Less egregious, but still less egregious as Jupiter didn't directly disobey the sun, but Neptune still did keep alive for over 4.5 billion years, and, like, and sun doesn't really do anything. So, yeah. Triton gets to leave because if you remember at the very beginning, Neptune said that asked what about the dwarf planets, and his son said they haven't caused as much trouble as all of you, so they can continue to do their thing. So Triton says, "Adios, motherfucker," and goes on his jolly way. Now, one thing I thought was gonna happen is I thought Triton was just gonna pull a Moon Revolution Part 2 and says, "Bye, have fun with being shared in orbit," because I can 100% see Triton doing that. But it would have been better if he says, "Don't worry, Proteus, I've got a plan," and then left. Because now Proteus is just worried, thinking his big brother just left him. Now the Galilean moons have a conversation. On my bingo sheet, it says Io and Callisto have an important role. Right now, Io already has more lines than he did in the Theia arc. But Ganymede still bugs me because he's just kind of an idiot in the scene, but whatever, it's fine. Also, I don't like the Ganymede and Europa are just now the revolution people. Like, they keep bringing that up. Why not be the ones who also kind of saved the solar system by trying to defeat Planet X in the Battle of Planet X? We get a flashback of what happens after the disturbance of the Kuiper Belt. Which, yay! It has been so fucking long since we got this explanation. And I guess this counts as normal Neptune, so I guess I had the Neptune plush with normal Neptune. Whatever. I like it. So, this is also the first flashback that they actually cared about reanimating. Like, they didn't give it just the old designs. So, yeah, so basically, Neptune gives a little, like, message to Triton, and he carries it, and goes to the dwarf planets, and the dwarf planet candidates. Let's see what they're up to. Whew, a lot of things to talk about here. Okay, this has been a while. We got our first animation error. Wanna know what it is? Okay, so it's right here.
Thank you for your support, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Explain it to us one more time.
Did you find it? It's okay if you didn't. let me replay it for you. So, it's hard to notice, but let me zoom in right around here. Now, keep an eye on Maki Maki.
And enjoy the rest of the show.
Explain it to us one more time.
You see, he doesn't start talking until he says, one more time. He's like, explain it to us one more time. That's an error, and that was also prevalent within the Patreon version. Anyways, we meet Sedna and also the Dwarf Planet candidates in a while. And not gonna lie, Pluto, this also applies to the Rogue Planet Army. Pluto kind of annoyed me in this episode. Listen, this might be my hottest take in a while, but Pluto, I'm not the biggest fan of Pluto. He can sometimes annoy me. There's sometimes he can just do these things and they just bug me. So, I'm just saying, Pluto's not my favorite character. He's not. I don't hate him, and I don't dislike him. Sometimes I'm just like, he's not my favorite. Anyways, it's a good scene until Orcus starts talking. I'm sorry, Solar Volar. He actually did a good job voicing PSO, who got a decent amount of screen time in the Rogue Planet Army Part 1. We have Gong Gong, speaking the language of Gongish, spoken in such countries such as Gongolia, Guangamala, Gongaya, Equatorial Gonga, and Gonga-Bissau. Anyways, I might do a video translating the tough language of Gongish. Don't you worry. Anyways, they start interviewing what happens after the Solar System's True Scale Part 3, and then Triton interrupts, meaning that Ceres is left alone with no dwarf planet. However, in the Hindi version of the Solar System's True Scale Part 3, we actually did see Ceres, and a lot of people also noticed that. I was like, hoping was I the only one who noticed that? Nope, a lot of other people noticed it. And Triton reveals that the sun's making everyone share an orbit. Yay. Senna says, what? And this is actually a genius connecting piece. They're going to seek out the rogue planets. And they're going to try and convince them to, go against the sun for not only just the planet revolution, but a galactic war. And in the Rogue Planet Army Part 1, they do mention wars, so it's justified. Gong, gong, gong. Anyways, so this is one of the better connecting pieces. The dwarf planets are going on an adventure. Their 10 friends go on. Their 11 friends going on adventure. 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 So, and we end the episode off, just like the Solar System's True Scale Parts 1 and 2, with Maki Maki saying, okay, can you repeat everything again? Well, if I did repeat everything again, Maki Maki, this video would be 1 hour and 3 minutes. And I think people are tired of me yapping. I'm gonna end off here. I don't have any special announcements or anything. I already did my marble race. I actually really liked it. And also, I guess I have a small announcement. So I know in my What Are Rogue Planets review, I said I wouldn't be reviewing old episodes. I am doing 2 reviews of old episodes. Just 2. They're going to be, one of them is going to be the Triton arc beforehand, since Triton's now actually going to be involved with the story. I think I should I've actually really never talked about the journey to Neptune, disturbance of the Kuiper Belt, and is Triton even a real moon? I've never really talked about those episodes, so I think it would be good to give that its own review. And I'm also going to be talking about another set of 3 episodes that's going to be a secret. I'm not telling you that one. Those will probably come out in February. So that's all. This was my review, and my mother just ordered a pizza for me. So I'm gonna go eat that. Thank you for watching. See you when I'm in Florida. I might make another video here or there, that doesn't involve me talking. But anyways, bye.